All right, I'd like to call the meeting of the Gonzales City Council for June 2nd, 2025 to order. Ms. Worthy, would you please lead us in the pledge of the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Estella, could we please have roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem, Liz Silva,
Present.
Councilmember Scott Funk,
I believe that's an excused absence.
Councilmember Lorraine Worthy,
Present.
Councilmember Maria Orozco,
Present.
and Chair Jose Rios.
Present. All right, moving on the agenda, we have a number of presentations today. The first one is the Gonzales High School field and track team. Do we have participants here this evening?
Yes.
Oh, great. Then I'll slowly go up there. And then, Estela, will you help read the certificates, please?
All right. On behalf of the City of Gonzales City Council, we would like to express our congratulations and recognize 3 league champions, most wins of Gonzales athlete, 11 all-league honors, and breaking Miles school record at a time of 4.33 minutes. We are very proud of you, your accomplishments, and for representing your school community and families with the highest degree of integrity, dignity, and sportsmanship. Once again, congratulations and go Spartans.
I'll show we got names, so come up here, I'll shake it again, you get your certificate, and then once everyone's got it, we'll talk to say a few words, and then we're going to go to the brothers and take a few pictures for the posterity.
Okay, the first one, Giovanni Ochoa.
Oh, you gotta reach out to me, I can't see you. Okay, thank you, Bill. Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Liz Baguio. Karina Maturino. Priscila Hurtado. Adriel Lambert. Antonella Acosta. And Alitzel Mauro. And now the coaches. On behalf of City Council of the City of Gonzales, we would like to express our congratulations and recognitions for leading the Spartans to a great track and field season. We are very proud of your accomplishments and for representing your school community and families with the highest degree of integrity, dignity, and sportsmanship. Once again, congratulations and go Spartans. Coach Margie Daniels. And assistant coach Mike Ramirez. That's it.
These words about the team.
I'll accept this certificate on behalf of Mike Ramirez. He's recovering from surgery. He really wanted to be here, but he spent all his energy walking up the bleachers for our team pictures today. So he's with us in spirit. But I do would like to call Gio up here because I know that in the past, he's been here multiple times for his many of accomplishments and was always asked, "Where's your Letterman jacket?" And so I asked him to wear it today so that you could see. He still hasn't put on his newest patches. He won 3 league titles this season. And he is now the most decorated athlete at Gonzales High School in history. So, yeah. He was also voted male athlete of the year by his coaches, staff, and peers. So that's another great accomplishment. So yeah, do you want to show them your, or you can see it? She wants to see it. Yeah. Yeah, go.
I'm gonna go up there
Okay. And if I could have Liz Bagyal come on up. The future is bright, you guys. Like, I'm very excited to present. Liz is a freshman and she is my first female champion in the shot put. She is our first female champion since 2014. So I'm very excited to have her here. She's so coachable, helpful, and smart. So I'm excited to have her for the next 3 years. Yes. So yeah. And then
Hey, Giovanna, I really admire you because what you do for fun, right? I used to do it twice when they were we hated during basketball. Never mind, I know we're gonna run. Okay, make that go play. And you, it's fun. I really, it takes a special person to do what you do. That speaks volumes of you all. You're very welcome.
and he does it so flawlessly. Like when you watch him compete and run, it's like it's
Effort.
yes. But I do want to, these young ladies over here who are under, let's see, we have sophomores and juniors. They qualified for CCS for the 4x800. And I haven't had a girls relay qualified for the Central Coast section since 2017. So, it was a big accomplishment for these young ladies to qualify, but for track and field in CCS, there are no divisions. It doesn't matter how big your school is, how small your school is, the best of the best. So very excited to have these young ladies represent Gonzales at CCS. So yeah. Yeah, no. I know, it's what happens. Yeah, I think they want to take a picture, so. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. You like to sit down?
Let me just catch up for minutes.
No, you should.
You do awesome, you. You do a great job. I gotta do the tippy toe thing behind him.
All right, buddy. Cheeseburgers or something.
That's cheeseburgers in paradise.
Got it?
They win. Spartans.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congratulations
Yes,
to you.
433 in the mile, 950 in the 2 mile.
Incredible.
Can you imagine that? 4 minutes on a mile? Wow. That is fast. All righty, next item on the agenda, Central Coast Energy Partnership. I hope you'll bear with us. We're gonna move you down a bit. Because we're gonna let our youth commissioners do their year-end report. Because these kids may need to leave early because they're still in school. So I will invite the year-end report. I'm not sure if it's Valeria or Emily. Oh, Cindy, okay. So,
Cindy's gonna go ahead and introduce
okay,
the report
Okay.
and then they'll take it away.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole crew. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. Thank you all so much for being here today. My name's Cindy. I am one of the 2 advisors for the Gonzalez Youth Council along with Jessica Olmedo. And I work with C4 Consulting, which is what gives me this great opportunity to work with the Gonzalez Youth Council. And as this tradition for basically 10 years now to come up here and share updates on what our youth have been working on. We're super excited for this cohort to share a little bit more of what they've been up to this year. This is the youth council that I've been with for basically the entirety for some of them, of their high school careers. So definitely a very special moment as I think of coming back to the community and what I've been able to do and what we've been able to do working together. Before I hand it over to Valeria and Emily, I just wanted to give a deep appreciation to the council, Mayor Rios and Mayor Pro Tem Silva for attending the South County Youth Summit a couple weekends ago. It was really great to have you there. I know the council was generally interested to be there, so I appreciate all of the support and that you all were able to come out. So with that being said, I'll hand it over to Valeria and Emily for a presentation. Then we have certificates and we'll be able to award or read the resolutions or proclamations that we worked on.
Good evening, Council. So today we'll be presenting the capstone presentation. So my name is Emily Mendez. I am this year's GYC Commissioner for the last time. I am a 12th grade student. I am a senior, and I will be attending UC Berkeley next year. This is my 3rd year in the Youth Council, and I'll pass it on to our next commissioner.
Hello, everybody. My name is Valeria Cardenas. I'm also this year's commissioner. I'm also a graduating senior, and I'll be attending Long Beach University, CSU. And I'm also been so excited for this to be my final year. I've been here for 3 years, and yeah, I'll pass off to the next one.
Hello, everyone. I am a senior this year, and this is my first year in the GYC, and I was a team leader. And when I graduate, I'm going to Fresno State University.
Did you say? I don't remember.
Christina Garcia.
thank you.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Daniel Rosales Flores. I am a senior here at Gonzalez High School. This is my first year on the Gonzalez Youth Council, and I would like to say that I'm going to San Francisco State University after the school year.
Great.
Hello, Council. I'm Vianney Martinez Valdez. This is my 3rd year in the Gonzalez Youth Council. I am a 12th grade student, and in the fall, I'll be attending UC Berkeley.
My name is Suri Palomares. I'm a senior, and this is my first year in the Youth Council, and I'll be attending UC Davis.
Hello, Council. My name is Lisbeth de Leon Santos. I've been in the GYC for 3 years, and in the fall, I will be attending UC Berkeley.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ricardo Rodriguez Perez. I am currently a junior at Gonzalez High School, and this is my first year serving the Gonzalez Youth Council.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Orlando Rodriguez Perez. I am a current freshman as of right now, and this is my first year in the Gonzalez Youth Council.
Good evening. My name is Shelby Anderson. I am a junior attending GHS, and this is my first year in the Youth Council.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ana Rosales Emiliano. I'm a senior at Gonzalez High School. This is my first year at being part of the GYC, and I'll be attending San Jose State.
So our purpose for today is to make a positive difference by advising recommendations and sharing information to ensure youth have a voice and influence in their city governments, school, community, and especially related to our policies, programs, services, and affect children and youth. We plan and implement community service learning projects and other community involvement activities of high school interest for children and youth, and we gain valuable leadership skills and experience to aid our success as well as well-being of families, schools, and community. Thank you.
Projects for our fall and spring term. The Gonzalez Youth Council focused on many projects, and these are our key ones. We focus on the education project, the Housing Tenants Rights Project, Adulting 101, community outings, and South County Youth Summit. The Gonzalez Youth Council focused on these projects throughout this year because we want to remain true to our core values of community and empowerment. We decided on these projects to build a connection to the Gonzalez City as well as the other youth councils as seen through the South County Youth Summit. We also chose these projects because we as a youth felt like we had issues that needed to be addressed in our community, such as the teacher shortage.
Education. The motivation for our education project was to address the significant challenge encountered by Gonzalez High School regarding the widespread teacher shortage. Both of our advanced and standard academic courses were negatively affected as we lacked instructors.
The online program, UC Scout, was implemented as an alternative to replace missing teachers and curriculum. The Gonzalez Youth Council gathered student data through lunchtime activities and a survey, displaying a school-wide dissatisfaction with online classes. We brought our feedback to the school board, and after presenting our feedback, the school board created a promotional video to recruit newly qualified teachers, which was presented at trainings and job fairs.
The Housing and Tenants Rights Action Project. The idea for this project came to be in the summer of 2023 during the 2023-2024 fellowship and was executed by last year's Youth Council. There has always been hopes of new housing, but in the meantime, let's focus on being informed on the perspectives of the Gonzalez residents and the challenges or exemplary behavior shown within tenant aspects. The GYC's Tenant Rights Action Project Group led and developed a survey involving closer insight on tenant perspectives for mistreatment and if landlords followed safety codes, but most importantly, if they knew their rights. And if we look at the charts on the one on the left, about half of Gonzalez residents who took the survey aren't aware of what those rights are.
This year, we continued that project and a project more deeply and within our team and spent afternoons sorting through US codes in the six cycle housing elements and various legal guides. Throughout our time collecting this data, we were navigating ways to best display this information and how to make a pamphlet that we hope to share at upcoming city events, as well as hopefully planning an upcoming community event where we could share with the community these resources as well as provide more support, especially during these times of need.
Adulting 101. A team from GYC got together and saw that the youth needed to know more about the skills that they might need as an adult. Our purpose was to share knowledge about basic maintenance, healthy habits, financial literacy, and self-care to prepare our youth for the transition into adulthood.
Our team hosted a workshop that consisted of financial literacy, resume building, and also self-care, which was expanded to the South County Youth Summit. And a quote we kind of relate to is "Adulting is soup and I am a fork" by Noel Gallagher.
For our community outings, we visited the community center several times, and for our first time, we received a full tour of the process of construction, and we visited the library, teen lounge, and teen innovation center. And then we had a sit test in the police department to see which chairs we would choose for that same teen innovation lounge. And then we took several tries to see which chairs we wanted until we had to decide that we needed another day to decide, and those chairs were brought into the construction site to take a better look at which chair we wanted. And our final visit was during the dry-in milestone, where the building had roofing, windows, and doors installed, and we were able to go inside to view that process.
The Gonzalez Youth Council also dedicated itself to fighting against drug use and addiction by partnering up with Sun Street Centers. By partnering up with Sun Street Centers, the Gonzalez Youth Council was then able to host an outreach event at Fairview Middle School to promote staying drug-free to middle schoolers. As you can see on the pictures, one of the most impactful impacts we had was like having the middle schoolers paint their hands red to be able to paste them on our little poster right there, so that they would pledge to stay drug-free.
So our second annual South County Youth Summit. The second annual South County Youth Summit was an overall success where many had learned about different skills and techniques, but also they tend to socialize with many of the other scholars who attended.
A lot of the fundings used for the South County Youth Summit was from the SOAR Asset Mapping Project that we presented a couple months ago where we got the grant. The Adulting 101 project was also hosted during this youth summit. Some images you can see on there is me actually presenting to a group with the big support of the funding, but also with the Gonzalez Youth Council Adulting 101 project. And also, we also would like to take some time to appreciate Mayor Rios and Councilmember Silva for attending and staying really consistent with their community. So we would like to spend some time and thank you for that. Back again. To conclude our presentation, we would like to bring awareness that this year is our now 10-year anniversary for the Gonzalez Youth Council, which was served with working hard and studying, which was our main priority for this year of serving the Community Youth Council. Us council commissioners and members have dedicated to our projects to this term and determination to execute a successful climax and overall an impact in our community.
Being on the council for 3 years, I am humbled by the amount of support the city has offered to not only us, but the youth as well. Here, I would like the council to take a certain suggestion we have, which is if our program could possibly be funded more. I am fully aware of how tight the budget has been, and we have had to pull through with our adjunct projects with, again, a very tight budget and the very minimal items we have. We have also fundraised, so I truly hope this can be taken into consideration for the next year's Youth Council. And we also thank you for supporting our advisors, Miss Cindy and Miss Jessica, as they play a key role as to why the Gonzalez Youth Council is very successful. Thank you.
This concludes our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda are some proclamations of accommodation. So the first one is proclamation 2025-04, accommodation for Valeria Cardenas for her time served on the Gonzalez Youth Council. And then I have proclamation number 2025-05, a proclamation of commendation to Miss Emily Mendez. We'll have to do one at a time, correct, Michael? Okay, all right. So do I have a motion for approval of the proclamations?
So move. Second, third.
Okay, sounds like it's unanimous. Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Fantastic, thank you. We go up and present, right? All right, one more trip. Okay, don't trip.
No trips today.
No. Trip to the front without tripping.
There's no AC on today.
Carmen, you gonna help me with this?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Of course, pictures after.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I'm really impressed by how many kids are going off to college and more important. I mean, I want to go to Berkeley. Didn't get in. That's okay.
Okay,
I'm very happy for those that did. Very happy.
I'm gonna go ahead and read it.
Okay, please.
So proclamation number 2025-04. Whereas Valeria Cardenas Pacheco has served as a dedicated member of the Gonzales Youth Council from 2022 to 2024 and was appointed as a youth commissioner in the summer of 2024 by the Gonzales City Manager and the Gonzales Unified School District Superintendent, during which time she has demonstrated extraordinary leadership, civic responsibility, and a deep commitment to community empowerment. And whereas Commissioner Valeria Cardenas Pacheco researched and co-authored a study on mental health in collaboration with other Gonzales Youth Council members and Dr. Jennifer Lovell, Associate Professor of Psychology at California State University, Monterey Bay, that was published in a national journal on school psychology. And whereas Commissioner Valeria Cardenas Pacheco has led multiple presentations, including one titled Take Action, How to Use Data and Advocacy to Improve Youth Mental Health, which was presented at the Monterey Youth Mental Health Summit in 2023, and also a data walk for mental health awareness, which was held at Gonzales High School in 2023. And whereas Commissioner Valeria Cardenas Pacheco organized and led numerous community-based initiatives, including a substance abuse prevention campaign, advocating for academic resource expansion and efforts to improve housing and tenant rights in her community. And whereas Valeria Cardenas Pacheco is an exceptional student who demonstrates remarkable academic and extracurricular achievements, she has excelled in her studies at Gonzales High School, where she has been an active member of the Principal's Honor Roll all 4 years and has been involved in various initiatives, including the Ivy League Project, Gonzales FFA, and president of the Gonzales High Model UN and debate team. And whereas Valeria Cardenas Pacheco, a proud first-generation Mexican-American, is recognized as being able to engage diverse stakeholders from local officials to community organizations and youth, and has demonstrated her strong advocacy. And now, therefore, it be proclaimed on this second day of June in the year 2025 by the Gonzales City Council that Valeria Cardenas Pacheco is proudly recognized for her outstanding leadership, unwavering service, passionate advocacy, and inspiring resilience. And with heartfelt appreciation, the City of Gonzales celebrates Valeria's remarkable impact on our community and sends her off with the very best wishes as she graduates from Gonzales High School and embarks on an exciting new journey at California State University, Long Beach. Okay. We'll do pictures right now. Okay. Proclamation number 2025-05, whereas Emily Mendez has served as a dedicated member of the Gonzales Youth Council from 2022 to 2024 and was appointed as a youth commissioner in the summer of 2024 by the Gonzales City Manager and the Gonzales Unified School District Superintendent, during which time she has demonstrated extraordinary leadership, civic responsibility, and a deep commitment to community empowerment. And whereas Commissioner Emily Mendez led a citywide substance use prevention initiative in collaboration with key partners, including the Gonzales Fire and Police Departments, Sun Street Centers, and the Epicenter, Friday Night Live, by coordinating a week-long campaign that addressed systemic barriers such as gang involvement and substance abuse that impacts young people in Gonzales and across South Monterey County. And whereas Commissioner Emily has contributed to numerous action projects addressing mental health resources, educational equity, and the local teacher shortage, and played a key role in youth-led planning for the development of the Gonzales Community Center Complex and Teen Innovation Center, while also conducting asset mapping research to help identify local strengths and needs. And whereas Commissioner Emily Mendez is the founder of the Music Clothing Film Club at Gonzales High School, where she organized a successful clothing drive in partnership with the GHS Career Closet. And whereas Emily's academic excellence is reflected in her consistent Principal's Honor Roll status, 4.3 GPA, and a completion of dual enrollment courses at Harnell, all while remaining actively engaged in extracurriculars and service activities. And whereas, as Secretary of the California Scholarship Federation and a member of the Gonzales High School Marching Band, Emily has shown both organizational leadership and artistic dedication, enriching her school and community through collaboration, performance, and volunteerism. And whereas
Emily, a proud first-generation Mexican-American woman, is widely recognized as a confident, competent changemaker who seeks every opportunity to grow and uplift others, an inspiration to her peers and a steadfast advocate for youth voice, educational equity, and social change. Now therefore be it proclaimed this second day of June in the year 2025 by the Gonzales City Council that Emily Mendez is hereby commended for her exemplary leadership, service, advocacy, and resilience. The city extends its heartfelt gratitude for her meaningful contributions to Gonzales and offers its best wishes as she graduates from Gonzales High School and begins her next chapter at the University of California, Berkeley.
What these young ladies are receiving as a graduation sash, and the two youth commissioners also received a medal from the city. And we sincerely appreciate all your efforts and hard work. And I'm amazed. I mean, I don't know when you sleep. And all of that. Amazing, amazing.
And we have certificates for the rest of the book. Already tomorrow. And their seniors are getting their certificates. Ana Rosales Emiliano.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, you can see you so. I apologize.
Yeah. Cristina Garcia. Denia Rosales Torres. Suri Palomares. Lisbeth de León Santos.
Thank you.
Jenny Martinez Dada.
Thank you.
Oh, we have or these are the other percent that are not graduated yet. So we'll be with us until graduation, or until Rodriguez Press. Shelby Anderson. Isabella.
Thank you.
And Ricardo Rodriguez Press.
Invite you all up to come up and take a picture with us. So you want to come on up.
Nice job. I know. That's your middle name.
All right. Just so like this.
Yeah, open up your certificates.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, are you guys ready?
Look at the camera.
Okay, hold on. Got it, thank you.
Fantastic job. Amazing, that's right.
Thank you, congratulations. We'll see you. See you next Saturday.
You're doing good. Of course, look good. Couple more steps.
No
You're
trips.
there. Okay.
And I do want to acknowledge the previous councils that put this youth commission together. I think that was very
Yeah.
forward thinking and very appreciative. I'm glad to be a part of them now. I'm deeply honored to be able to stand in front of these young people and think maybe one day I'll be able to see myself there. I don't think I'll live that long, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to see that and say that, wow, I knew her win. I knew him win. It's really amazing. I see nothing but brightness and amazing future for all of you. Thank you for so much for being part of this community and representing us so well. I'm so proud to know you, and you've made the whole community proud of you. Thank you again. Okay. And thank you, Central Coast Energy Partnership, for your patience. I hope you understand these kids lead obviously very busy lives, and I didn't want to deter from their last days of studying and getting ready for graduation. It's this Saturday, so practice, practice, practice. So in that venue, could we have your presentation, please?
Hello, Mayor Rios and council members. My name is Sophia Schwartzky, and I serve as the Community Relations Manager for the Northern Region of Central Coast Community Energy, otherwise known as 3CE. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to provide an update today on behalf of my agency and for the opportunity to see these students receive their proclamations. I'm here to share highlights about 3CE's recent activities, programs, and ongoing efforts to support your community. As you might know, 3CE is the public agency who sources clean energy for the Central Coast. We work in partnership with PG&E, who manages the transmission and distribution of that energy to your homes and businesses. 3CE serves 30 cities and the counties of Santa Cruz, Monterey, San Benito, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Barbara. Today, 3CE provides clean and renewable energy to 1.2 million people, which is about 94% of eligible customers. 3CE is on a pathway to deliver 100% clean energy to our customers. And last year, we delivered 409 megawatts of clean energy, which is enough to power 350,000 homes. By doing so, we avoided over 445,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide emissions, which is equivalent to taking 105,000 gas-powered cars off the road for an entire year. 3CE is investing in new renewable projects that add clean energy to the grid and boost statewide reliability. In my next few slides, I'm going to highlight a few of these projects and their impact. The first project I'd like to review is the Willow Rock Energy Storage Center, which uses compressed air to power turbines on demand. Building energy storage is essential for our state's transition to clean energy because it balances supply and demand, improves grid reliability, promotes affordability, and allows for greater use of renewable resources. And I'll get into the importance of battery storage a little bit later in this presentation, but this Willow Rock presentation will provide 200 megawatts of energy to 3CE customers alone. The next project I'd like to highlight is Atlas Solar. This will be one of the largest solar plus storage projects in North America. And once it's online, it will deliver 150 megawatts to 3CE customers. Also under construction is the Aratina Solar Plus Storage Project. And this project will deliver 120 megawatts of clean energy to 3CE customers. Next, I'd like to highlight a project that recently came online, and that's the Victory Pass Solar Plus Storage Project. So this project began delivering energy in 2024, and of the total output, 100 megawatts are dedicated to 3CE customers. 3CE is continuing to evaluate new projects like these that we could invest in, and we are committed to building a diverse mix of renewable energy technologies. But as we advance projects like these, we recognize that delivering energy is only a part of the equation. Connecting with the communities we serve is a key part of our mission. And in 2024, our outreach team engaged across the region by sponsoring local events, hosting bilingual webinars, and leading hands-on workshops to inform and develop 3CE's energy programs. We've also improved the ways we communicate and engage with our customers. There we go. In 2024, 3CE hired additional bilingual staff. We increased our translated materials, and we developed an underserved communities action plan. Our community workshops were improved by hiring Spanish interpreters, by promoting these events bilingually in English and Spanish, and by partnering with local community-based organizations in the promotion of these webinars. 3CE is helping customers take control of their energy use to save money and support a cleaner, more reliable grid. Through our partnership with Ohm Connect, customers can earn rewards for reducing energy during peak hours when electricity is most expensive. Last year, we also launched 3CE's first residential battery rebate program. With this program, whether you have solar or not, you can store clean energy and then use that energy when rates are high and the grid is not as clean. This adds savings, reduces emissions, and improves reliability during power outages. Since 2018, nearly 7,000 customers have received rebates through 3CE's clean energy programs. And in 2024 alone, 3CE delivered $11 million to our customers. And that includes $4 million directed directly to underserved community members. And this next slide is just a snapshot of how customers across our service area took advantage of those rebates. There we go. So you can see that to date, 3CE has funded 2,800 electric vehicles, 2,000 EV chargers for those vehicles, projects for being ready to have those EVs and charge them. So this includes installation and labor costs for installing an EV charger in your garage. And there's a lot more programs that 3CE has to offer than just those three. So specifically in your city, 3CE has invested over $319,000 to support electrification in Gonzales. That includes $65,000 towards the purchase of all electric farm equipment, $200,000 towards an electric school bus, $30,000 to support home electrification, and $24,000 in electric vehicle rebates. Gonzales hasn't yet participated in our member agency programs, and we have over $300,000 available to your city for fleet planning and EV charging infrastructure this year alone. These funds can help support your transition to electric vehicles to meet the California Air Resources Board's advanced clean fleet requirements. For comparison purposes, Greenfield has accessed about $83,000 in 3CE funding through our various programs. You'll notice that their city has accessed our Plan Your Fleet program, which is one of our programs exclusively for the member agencies we serve. So there's still an opportunity for Gonzales to get involved in programs like these, and we're here to help you do it. Next slide, please. We're so excited to support the city of Gonzales in your transition to clean renewable energy. And if you have any questions about the programs that we just reviewed, you can reach out to me directly. I will provide my contact information to the clerk. The city's account managers are Judy Young and Colleen Courtney, so I'd love to introduce you to them. And then if you don't mind just clicking to our appendix quickly, and then one more slide. And before I take your questions, I just wanted to quickly circle back to why battery storage is such an important part of our state's energy transition. So if you didn't know, batteries are able to balance intermittent renewables like solar and wind. So they increase stability by reacting quickly to changes in supply and demand. batteries reduce reliance on fossil fuels during peak hours, and they support affordability by lowering costs for our customers. At the residential level, home batteries offer backup power, lower bills, and provide control through demand response. So our state has made significant progress expanding renewable energy with rapid growth in both solar and wind. And in this graph, you can see the installed capacity of different energy sources each year measured in gigawatt hours. Solar is shown there in yellow and wind is in green. Battery storage plays a key role in being able to capture this energy and make it available when it's needed most. Next slide, please. So this slide shows what happened on Labor Day in 2022, which is a day when our electrical grid was under intense stress. You might remember receiving a text from our governor saying to reduce your energy usage to prevent blackouts. There's a little spider on the microphone here. I'm just gonna move him. So thank you. That alert triggered the largest demand response event in California's history, with people across the state helping to prevent a major grid failure. At the time of that event, we had 5,000 megawatts of installed battery storage. It's very difficult to see, but on this graph, there's a light purple area on the negative part of that chart that shows when batteries are charging, which is mostly between the hours of 8 a.m. and noon. So later in the day from 2 to 9, when energy use increases, you can see the purple shifts above the line, which is showing when those batteries are discharging to supply power during peak demand times. So even with this growing battery capacity, we still needed that flex alert from the governor in order to prevent blackouts. Next slide, please. So if you look at the same date 2 years later, you'll see that this is much easier to show when the batteries are charging because that purple line at the bottom is much more prominent. So in 2024, we had 13,000 megawatts of batteries installed, and they're charging early, they're charging in the middle of the day, and then discharging in the evening. This discharge is not only preventing a grid stress event, but it's displacing fossil fuel generation. And that's the real value of batteries. It's taking excess energy from the middle of the day and moving it back to the shoulder hours. And then one more slide. So we have an abundance of solar energy in our state, especially during the day when the sun is the strongest. When we generate more renewable energy than the grid can use or store, that energy is essentially wasted. It goes unused because there is nowhere for it to go. So if you look at the blue line, it's the 2024 line on this curtailment chart, you'll notice that curtailment is starting to start earlier in the day, and it's increasing more quickly than in previous years. Without enough battery storage, we miss the chance to store that clean energy for use later in the day when demand is higher. Instead, we have to rely on fossil fuels during peak hours, which are more expensive and polluting. So I'm sorry to kind of go about this in a roundabout way, but I just want to show you that those projects that we are investing in and the project that came on last year, a lot of them are battery storage projects because we're working to keep the grid clean and renewable, reduce costs for our customers, and increase reliability across our entire state. So that's why we're investing at the utility scale level. And then we also offer our residential customers the opportunity to participate with our residential battery storage program. And you can go ahead and go back to the thank you slide. Thank you for clicking for me. So again, thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to take any questions you have.
Start, Maria, would you like to start? No questions? Okay. Ladies on this side, do you want to go first, Liz?
Sure. I just had a couple, thank you for the presentation, a lot of information to soak in all at once. You mentioned some locations and they're very unfamiliar to me. You said Willow Rock, Atlas Solar, Aratina Solar and Storage, and the recent one was Victory Pass. Where are all these located?
So those projects are located there's one in Riverside, one in Kern County, and then one is in Arizona. And I can't remember where that fourth project is located, but the majority of our power purchase agreements, like the ones that I showed you earlier, are located in our state. There's 3 outside of our state, but there's 19 total that we're invested in right now, and most of them are in California. And I can send you a map of our power purchase agreements where you can see exactly where each project is as well.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, my question is related to the batteries, the residential batteries. I read an article recently that said solar is going to be going up in price next year. So how does that help us as far as storing the solar in with the batteries? Because there's a lot of that going on currently in our community. I mean, there's a company now going around talking to people about the residential batteries. And I just recently read this article saying solar is going to go up. So PG&E is actually encouraging the residents to get these batteries, from what I understand. And I'm one of those people that when all this stuff was happening a few years ago, I got a generator. Now, my generator is not going to be helping me in any way if we go into these batteries, correct?
So to start answering your question, it's exactly why we're offering that battery storage rebate program. Is the amount that you are compensated for excess solar has reduced. So we had NEM 1.0, NEM 2.0, and then the California Public Utilities Commission introduced the solar billing plan, which is what all new solar installation is under. And that reduces the rate that you're compensated from retail rates closer to wholesale rates based on a calculator that the CPUC has. So what the residential battery allows you to do is, whether you're on NEM 1, NEM 2 with the higher amount that you're compensated, or if you're on the solar billing plan where it's a bit less, you can store energy that was generated during the day when rates are lower, right? Nobody's at home watching TV, they're not doing their laundry, that sort of thing, right? So you can store that energy when it's cheap. And then from 4 to 9, when everybody's getting home from work and starting to ramp up their energy use at home, instead of paying the expensive energy costs from the grid, you can pull on that energy that you stored, right? So that's really why we introduced the program, right? To increase reliability, allow our customers to benefit from the lower costs, and to allow them to store energy when it's cleaner, right? So I know you said you don't have solar panels, but great news is you can still use the battery without solar panels. So you get all of the same benefits. It's just that you're charging it from the grid. So you can still store energy during the day when it's less expensive. And then instead of buying power from 3CE, you can use the energy that you already stored. So you definitely don't have to have solar panels to participate in the program. I'm not really sure how your generator would tie in, but I could connect you with our programs team, and they have really good one-on-one support for things like that.
Okay, there's one more thing. Because the solar is going to be going up in 2026, is it important for us to have those batteries installed in 2025? Everything needs to be in place in 2025, and we're only 6 months away from 2026. So that's my question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So 3CE's incentives aren't going away anytime soon. And just so you know, the incentive is $300 per kilowatt hour of the amount your battery can store, up to 26 kilowatt hours. But then if you are participating in one of our state or federal bill financial assistance programs, you get an extra $200 per kilowatt hour of that battery's capacity. So that's what our incentive is. And you can stack our incentive with anything else that's out there, right? So you could stack it with state incentives, federal incentives. And, you know, if you get solar now, you'd be grandfathered into the solar billing plan, most likely. So it really, the solar part, you might want to talk to your solar advisor and look into it more. But for the battery storage, I say anytime, as soon as you're ready to do it, because now you can stack all the incentives that are out there. And if federal incentives end up going away, you can still participate in our program. It just might be less that you're getting for that battery.
It's be interesting to see, because obviously I think we all know PG&E has just been skyrocketing, going up 25 to 30% every year. So I think it will be beneficial down the road. I just want to make sure that, and you said that you are translating into Spanish so people can understand the program, because it is complicated.
Absolutely.
I mean, I find it to be complicated, and I've actually been researching it. So I just want to make sure that our residents understand clearly how this all works, because it hopefully will save them money in the long run.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to that. And I want you to know that if a customer does call our customer service line, they'll be on the phone with somebody within 15 seconds. That's our metric for someone to answer the phone and walk them through their bill, walk them through their programs. And we have Spanish speaking staff who can help them one-on-one. And our team also has the ability to translate in over 200 languages. So there's a lot of support there, and I really appreciate the question. Thank you.
I have a few. First of all, I understand that there is an incentive to, as you're building, to have an all-electric home. And if that's the case, how are you getting that promotion out? Because I know that there's a number of ADUs in our community that have been built all electric, and I don't believe they even applied for that rebate.
So that's really good to know. And if you happen to know anybody, please have them reach out to me, because I'll make sure that they're able to get those incentives. I think they have a full year to apply. But the program that you're speaking of is our new construction electrification program. So this program has funds available for affordable housing and farm worker housing developers up to $240,000 per project to build all electric housing. But then there's also a residential component of it, where if you build an all electric accessory dwelling unit, you can receive $5,000 per project up to 2 projects. So if you build 2 ADUs, you can get 10,000 total if they're built all electric. And it's good to know that there are community members who weren't aware of that program. It's a big part of what we're doing at 3CE to try and make sure that people know we exist, that these funds are available to them. So I'll definitely share that feedback with our programs team.
Yeah, I'm just curious, our building officials are here. Does anybody know about it? Okay, see what I mean? So,
Well, and what about, Mr. Mayor, those homes that have natural gas, how's that gonna affect?
no, it's only
gonna be
for 100% electric homes.
Yeah, just for that specific.
Correct.
But I will say, if you have a home that uses natural gas and you're transitioning your appliances to all electric, we also have funds for that. So for heat pumps, HVAC, panel upgrades, there's funding available through 3CE.
Well, no. The heat pump is the heating unit for your house, so you can have both air conditioning and cooling, which is the advantage to a heat pump. So just a thought, if your heater goes out, might be something to consider. Final question, and I hate to put this on you, but it is a subject in our county that's very dear and near to Chief Mutual's heart: lithium battery fires. I mean, it's a good idea on the battery storage, but I believe really the only option for customers right now is lithium batteries. And Chief, unless some miracle of chance, you figured out a way how to put them out. I mean, we've had a massive fire up at Moss Landing. And so I know that I've had that comment from several residents to please don't place one in our community. And I'm like, but at this point, I'm not aware of one, but I understand your concern. Our wind blows north to south on any given day. And so some folks are worried about the fallout to crops, to the farm workers. And so any comments regarding that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I had a feeling I might get a question like that, as you can tell from some of my slides. But 3CE is heavily invested in battery storage, because it's the only way that we're going to meet our clean energy goals, keep our energy reliable, and reduce costs for our customers. But that said, of course, it's absolutely critical that this is done safely. So I'll let you know that First of all, 3CE was not invested in the battery storage facility, Vistra's Moss Landing facility. And none of the projects that we do invest in are housed indoors like Moss Landing was. All of our current planned battery facilities are containerized facilities that are compliant with all the latest fire code design and installation standards. And I know the Moss Landing fire was a really big deal in this community. But I want to share that the global failure rate for grid scale battery energy storage systems has actually dropped 97% between 2018 and 2023. And there have been very few fire-related incidents despite the use of that technology increasing by 25,000% since 2018. And again, fewer than 1% of battery energy storage facilities in the United States are housed indoors like Vistra's was. Most are outdoors in sealed containers that limit fire spread, unlike the setting at Moss Landing.
So even in a residential area, I guess the recommendation from 3CE is to place that battery storage unit on the exterior of the house? Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, that's correct. I think,
Okay.
so normally you would work with a contractor who installs battery storage, and the units that I've seen are all in a container on the outside of your house. Yeah, I think there is actually, it's
Okay.
on the Ohm Connect slide where it talks about how we empower customers with their energy usage.
So Chief, I'm trying. All
Yeah,
right.
that's the one right there.
Okay. All right. I have no other questions, and thank you so much for your time and your patience for allowing us to let the kids go before.
No, that was really special. I appreciated the opportunity to watch it. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right, moving on to the council agenda, comments from the public not on the agenda. Any member of the public may address the council for a period not to exceed 3 minutes on any item not on the agenda. The council will listen to all communications, but will take no actions and make no comments. Podium is yours.
Don't see anybody rushing to the podium today.
Okay. Packed house and no one's here. Okay, better for us. Do we have anyone via Zoom wishing to make comments?
Yes, we have Andrew Brown.
Okay. Is he on?
She's getting.
Oh, you're getting him? Okay.
He's unmuted so he can speak.
Okay, sorry about that. Greetings, council. I was not
can
going
hear
to
you.
speak. Yes, thank you. Just one little quick note. The website I
Can you
see hasn't been updated since 2018. I try to submit services or service tickets, but the website says human verification key not valid. So that I mentioned that to the clerks like in January, still hasn't been addressed, but an idea would be to have the service learners from CSUMB maintain the website. If you make it remote, I think you would have like a long line. I'll send a follow-up email, but yeah, that's the only concern I have is just the website can't submit any tickets or contact anybody on the contact forms. It doesn't have the select verification. It's very not working. That's all the concerns I have. Thank you, council, and thank you, clerks.
Thank you. Anyone else, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay.
Marisol, if I can just respond real briefly. Andrew, we are getting some of your emails, so I don't know if you've gotten the responses back, but at least 2 of your emails did come through and we responded back. So if you didn't receive the response, give us a call and we'll make sure that those get to you, but we did get your emails. They came through.
Do you want me to acknowledge? I can acknowledge that. Yes, thank you for the acknowledgements via emails. and the responses, because I've been sending like kind of a lot. I've been a little Karen, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Estela, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period now and bring it back for further council action. And next on our agenda is items 6 through 20, the consent agenda. So are there any council members wishing to pull a consent item? Ms. Orozco? No, you're good?
I do.
Okay, I
Mr.
got
Mayor.
two here.
Yeah.
Okay, first
I-
we'll start with Lorraine, please.
Okay, I have, I'd like to just make a comment from the warrants. That's number 6, or excuse me, warrants are number 7. And I also want to pull 8 for, just for information.
Okay. Ms. Silva?
Yes, I just want clarification on items 13 and 14.
Okay, so we'll start with Ms. Worthy.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say thank you, Carmen, for sending the information on the credit cards. But I still feel like the ones that you did, that we requested last time at the last meeting. But I still feel like they're not really clear, you know, and I don't know if there's a way to do that, but, you know, just saying supplies or, you know, I understand when you go to a convention or a conference or a training, that makes complete sense. But I'd really like to know what some of that stuff is being spent on. If that, you know, like, I think the day camps you had put, I pulled my stuff today and then I pulled the wrong papers. I'll call you and then you and I can talk about it.
That'd be helpful because
Yeah.
we did print out just the credit card statements for this month and they're at the end of your warrants. And it is broken down, but let me know how much more detail you'd like and we'll see if the system
Okay.
accommodates that.
Great. I just like to see a clarity a little better. Okay, and item number 8, Mr. Mayor, is the resolution for Carl Sidoric for 25 years of service. The resolution was already created, but I wanted to let the council know that there's some changes that I may need to make on that resolution. So I'm asking for approval with just a couple of tweaks because I will be presenting that resolution on Monday, June 9th. If that's okay.
Do you want to share the tweaks?
I don't have them with me right now. Is that all right, Michael? Because I was told that would be okay to do. Yeah. I mean, they're very small items. I just kind of wanted to add a couple of things to what we have on here. And when I spoke to Mary, I wasn't sure. We had been given sort of a sample and I didn't like everything about it. I just wanted to put a couple more lines about the circulators. That's all, nothing major.
So, yeah, that's fine, as long as, we'll just make note of the fact that in approving 8, you're approving it in substantial form and content, and that allows you to go ahead and
Make some flexibility. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
That's all I have.
Ms. Silva?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have just a couple of questions with regards to the information provided on the assessments on items 13 and 14, and those are the assessments at California Breeze. On page 92, there's a county collection fee column, and that was a lot of reading to do, and I just could not comprehend any further. So is that something that goes to the county of the total assessment? Is that a part that goes to the county? Page
Mayor
92?
Pro Tem
Yeah.
Silva. So that's a fee when we submit the tax roll, that's a cost we incur from the assessor.
Okay. And then, some of the items, some of the lot, first they don't have an address, they just have the lot numbers or the parcel numbers. Some of them did not have an assessment amount. Is that normal? They were zeros. So that's again on page 92 and 96.
Those I'm going to guess that those are city-owned parcels.
City-owned
That's-
parcels.
that's-
Although they're
that's City-owned parcels.
Okay, and it's hard to see, I mean, it was like an eye chart trying to read it from the diagram. It's like, I can't figure this out. I enlarged it and I it just turned into blur. And then on page 104, it was, the reference was the amounts for 2017-18. If you look at, towards the top of the page. See the column at the top of the page, it says 2017-18 on page 104.
Yes.
Is that a typo or is that
I-
purpose?
I don't believe it's a typo. I believe that's when those costs were first identified or determined.
So we don't put the current upcoming fiscal year in that?
I'd have to ask the assessment engineer.
Right.
Unless we go through another study to determine what the actual new cost is, haven't done that. So.
Okay, well, that's quite a few years and I'm sure there's been a substantial change. So if possible, how soon could that be done? Maybe within the next 6 months?
Well,
Well-
the issue is kind of like find another capital improvement kind of study,
Okay,
then look at the actual numbers. We don't have funding to even do now, so
Okay.
those numbers are just gonna go up.
Right.
basically. So until we kind of get that back in line, we'll determine if we have more money to do improvements here. And for another study that will be right now.
so maybe we can include a footnote to that, what you just said, the explanation just provided. That way that the question doesn't come up again in the, like, next year.
I'd like to build on that response, Mayor Pro Tem Silva, that on page 118 is the budget for the California Breeze Parks and Open Space. And in order to balance this budget, we needed to reduce a number of the capital replacement costs to zero.
Okay. All right. So page 118.
Correct. 118 is sort of it summarizes the expenses and the revenues.
And that's just before the page that contains the footnotes.
Yep, exactly. That is
Okay.
correct.
Because that was one of my other pages that I was looking at, that I noticed that most of them are self-funded and, one of them I think was kind of way off, but, okay. And then, okay, so page 127 and 131, you've already explained that when there's a zero assessment, it's because it's a city-owned property.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Okay. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I move to approve our consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Moved in second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to the regular agenda. First of all, I'd like to apologize to staff because trust me when I tell you that I really, really try to memorize this as best I can, but in order to keep proper records, the next regular agenda items, I'm gonna basically say what it's about, and then I'll ask you to read the entire sentence. Whoever is the reporting party, whether it's Mr. Dobbins, our attorney, or Mr. Brown, Kennison Brown. So the next one is cost of fees. And who's got that item on the agenda?
I do, Mayor Rios.
Okay, thank you. Could you read the
Yeah.
actual?
Yes, so good evening, Mayor Rios, council members. So the title for this report reads, staff recommends the city council approve resolution number 2025-28, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gonzales establishing the cost for services fee schedule for fiscal year 2025-26. So now my very brief presentation is, here we are again. This item is the annual setting of the city's cost of services fee schedule for next fiscal year. And the proposed fees are attached to the staff report. I worked closely with senior county technician Celia Fermi to review and update the city's fees. And in turn, Celia coordinated with the other city department heads on updating fees for their department. For the record, we need to add a planning department fee for the cost to residents for the pre-designed plans for the accessory dwelling units that were developed that cost $400. So that's an item that's gonna be added to the cost of services schedule. This is a public hearing item, and the notice was published in the May 14th Salinas Valley Tribune edition. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm ready for any questions.
Great. We're going to go ahead and open it up to the public first before we have any questions. Anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item may do so at this time. Again, your time is limited to 3 minutes. And seeing or hearing no footsteps running towards the podium, I will go ahead and ask Marisol, do we have anyone via Zoom wishing to comment?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Stella, via email?
No comments via email.
All righty. Having no comments, then we'll go ahead and close the public meeting and bring it back for council discussion. Any questions or concerns, council?
No.
No? Then I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on to the next item. I believe this is one of our projects that has to do with blue zones and banning of electric or cigarettes. So who?
Yes, thank you.
Mr. Kissenbrown, can you please read that item, sir, and then jump right into your staff report?
Agenda item 22 is introduced, waive reading, and read by the title only, ordinance number 2025-150. Next slide, Marisol, please. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales, amending ordinance number 2019-115 of the Gonzales City Code regarding tobacco retailer licenses to prohibit the sale of all flavored tobacco products and to prohibit single-use electronic smoking products. And this would be.
It's amending.
And just leading into the staff report in the slide is this would be the first reading. And we're also asking that we publish a public hearing notice that would have the item come back for a little grander presentation on the 16th, if you wish to have that. So this would be introduced and waive reading only today.
Okay. We'll go ahead and open this up to the public for anyone wishing to comment on this item. And again, relying on my big ears, I cannot hear.
There's one.
There is one? Oh, awesome. Great,
Kendra.
great. Sorry.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Kendra Howell, Blue Zones Project, and also I'm co-chair of Monterey County Collaborates. And I really just want to thank staff for the time in putting this resolution update together and starting the process to present to you. We identified it early on as a pretty straightforward opportunity as part of their work to be a Blue Zones Project community. So it really does strengthen your current tobacco retail licensing ordinance. It matches the counties, which is actually stronger than the state. And the sheriff's office, as well as the district attorney's office, have received funding in the new fiscal year from the Justice Department for enhanced enforcement efforts. So this will be very important to support their efforts as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. It's okay, don't worry. I thought I'd be the first one.
We have one.
Okay.
Want me to just get that?
Good afternoon, Gonzalo Coronado, Monterey County Health Department Tobacco Control Program. And before I start about the subject matter, I wanted to acknowledge and show appreciation and really kudos for their support of the student athletes that you had here and the youth council. You don't see that in other cities, and I think it has to do with your community and your support for those. The ordinance, as Kendra said from Blue Zones Project, this closes the loopholes from the state law. The state law passed a law in 2022. There was lawsuits, and I won't get into that, but there was exceptions. The exceptions were hookah or the shisha, which is used for hookahs. The other one was premium cigars, and the other one was loose leaf pipe tobacco. So this closes those loopholes, and like the county and other cities have also done that to make it stronger than the state. And the other part of it is prohibit the single use of electronic smoking products because of the hazardous waste. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, you guys all have very quiet steps. Couldn't hear you. Anyone else?
No one in the chamber.
No one? No one in the chamber? All righty. Marisol, via Zoom.
No comments via Zoom.
Estela, via email.
Comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back for council discussion. So at this point, we need a motion, right? Michael? You're nodding your head. Remember, I can't see you.
For waiving reading the entire ordinance.
Okay, so we do need a motion in a second. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we introduce waive reading and read by title only ordinance number 2025-150 and set a public hearing to solicit public comments on this ordinance for our June 16th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All righty, the last one is the bidding process, and I'm assuming this is Mr. Dobbins again. Nope. Well, Mr. Rodriguez, sir, would you be so kind as to read that and then begin your staff report?
The item is to introduce, waive reading and read by title only. We have yet another ordinance, ordinance number 2015-151, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales, amending section 3.16.085, bidding procedures for public construction projects of chapter 3.616, purchasing procedures of the Gonzales City Code. A lot of words. Sorry about that. And the ordinance is actually pretty long for the minor changes that we're making, but basically, in the state of California, all public works projects and public works projects are projects for the construction and renovation, repair and so forth of public facilities on property that's either owned or leased by the city. All public works projects have to go out to bid if they exceed the cost of $5,000. And that $5,000 has existed in the statute forever without any kind of change for inflation and so forth. I mean, literally, I think it's been there as long as I've been practicing law at $5,000. So essentially, that means that almost all public works have to go out to bid. Fortunately, the legislature saw fit to address the situation by adopting the California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, which is an alternative way of handling public works contracts. Basically lets you do what we do sort of with consultants, which is to establish a list of contractors that you work with. You basically solicit bids and so forth. It's sort of you bid in general for the contractors. They give you what they're going to charge, that sort of information, and what their credentials are and so forth. And then you can go to your list rather than having to go through the full bidding process. Within this act, there are 3 different types of public works contracts. There's the no bid contracts, and those are contracts that you could just go out and negotiate with a contractor who's on your list, or you can use your own forces and so forth. There's the informal bidding, which you would solicit informal bids from folks who are on your list of preferred contractors or qualified contractors. And there's the final category, which is the actual contracts that you have to bid. And what the act does is establish a monetary threshold for each one of those categories. So right now in our ordinance, any public works contract that is $60,000 or less can be a no bid project. We don't have to go out to bid. Any contract that is $200,000 or less, between that 60,000 and the 200,000 is an informal one where we can just get informal quotes from folks and then decide who we want to contract with. And then anybody that and any contract that is over $200,000, so $200,001 has to go out to formal bid. And if the bid process basically requires that the public prepare a document soliciting bids and so forth, publish that, there's public hearings and so forth. So it's quite a lengthy process and it's expensive, and it also delays the actual work of the projects. And I think Patrick can attest to the fact that being part of this act or under this act for the last 10 years in the city of Gonzales has been very helpful in getting us to be able to get contracts on a much quicker and expedited basis and much less expensive. So the reason that we're here before you is that the legislature adopted some bill that became effective in January 1 of this year that changed those thresholds. So the 60 and the 220 threshold now been changed. The no bid situation is $75,000 or less. The informal is $220,000 or less. Anything over $220 has to go out for full bidding. So we need to make those changes and embed those into the ordinance that we have. We also made a small change to the definition of public works to include installation, which is helpful, or like large pieces of machinery and so forth are considered to be public works projects, then have under these same three categories of projects. So minor change, but it still has been helpful. I have a client recently that did swapped out an HVAC unit that would normally have had to go out to bid had they not been, had this provision that was in place. So that being said, what you have before you then this evening is an ordinance that makes those three changes to the monetary threshold. It makes a change to the definition of what a public works contract is. We also did a little bit of cleanup the last time that we made a change to this section of the code. It looks like somehow when it was codified, some words got left out, so I fixed that. And so it's before you this evening for waiver of reading, introduction and reading by title only.
Thank you, Michael. All righty, do we have, I'll open this up to the public. Anyone wishing to speak on this item, we do so at this time. No? Okay. Marisol, via Zoom, do we have any comments?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. Stella, do we have any comments via email?
Comments via email.
All right, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back to council.
Okay, so we can just read it as it's written. Introduce, waive reading and read by title only ordinance number 2025-151. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Gonzales amending section 3.16.085, bidding procedures for public construction projects of chapter 3.16, purchasing procedures of the Gonzales City Code.
Is that your?
That's my, I move, yes.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We don't have the kids here now, so there's no youth council report. Surprise, surprise. No, I think they said it all at the beginning, and so why keep those kids here? I mean, they obviously I was recollecting, it's almost been 50 years from my senior day at Gonzales High School. And man, that last week was.
So they're done with their studies. They're just practicing the graduation steps.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Do
fun.
all the fun stuff. All right, then moving on the agenda, items from the city council. First one up is TAMC. The Transportation Agency of Monterey County, we had an update on the civil grand jury's report. I guess one of the things we got dinged for is that there's really not a mechanism to have a place to comment or concerns about road work. Because as you know, this county is split up into county roads, city roads, and of course Caltrans, and you never know when you're jumping from one jurisdiction into the other. And I get that because I, for myself, always thought that going from 68 through Delray Oaks into Sand City was Delray Oaks. And come to find out, it's called 218, which is the state mandate or road that's taken care of by the state of California. I never knew that. And it's also, that's what the other thing I found. And just like my wife was saying, how come, you guys did the work on the bridge? And it seems like, shouldn't Caltrans, I says, well, it should have been Caltrans doing something for when we were trying to mitigate traffic. But again, it's funny. They say, well, we'll take care of this bridge, but if you guys want traffic control, you got to do your own. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. So TAMC's working towards, I guess, people being able to submit a concern, and we'll be able to follow up and route it to the proper jurisdiction, I guess. Next was a report from our traffic engineer discussing AB 48, and I forget the other ruling. Mr. Thomas, would you help me with that one? That's regarding speed limits within a community.
I'm sorry, not aware of that.
Okay, well, if we would like to change some speed limits in different parts of our community, I guess there's a process that we go through. And Doug said he'd be more than happy to help us if there's areas of the community that you feel or should be either increased or decreased. And he says there's a process now, and they were set up by state law.
And so, sorry to interrupt, but.
That's okay.
I know it's an item this Thursday, TAMC TAC meeting, because I was reviewing, the agenda was released today, and I noticed that that was an item, so I'll hear about it, learn about it at Thursday's TAMC TAC meeting.
Great, great. It was, a lot of it was French, just kind of. I get it, I understand, but he's using, and I guess I'm as guilty of that as well, is that he starts to use traffic engineering lingo and Mino Piki's traffic engineering lingo. Certain acronyms, yeah, and that was what it was. And afterwards, I pulled him aside and said, Doug, you're speaking French to me, and I don't speak French. I have difficulty in Spanish and English. He says, oh, okay, man, I'll understand. Next time I'll break it down a little bit more. I said, well, don't lengthen the presentation. What you did was enough. The other two items was, we went out and did a study of salaries, and come to find out, we only really had one position that was a little bit above the average, but the rest were way under. Not surprised. So we're taking steps to mitigate that. Then final item was the budget, and the budget, I'm happy to say, good for Tansy, we're doing pretty good. There's no hurt there. So a couple projects we have pending is, we're looking for a new office, and we've got budgeted money for that, and so we're good there. The next item is the mayor's select report, and I'm sorry, that was last month, and honestly, I don't remember what happened. I'll be honest, it was a whole month away, and the next one is this Friday, so I can't report out on what's gonna happen this Friday. So, moving on, Salinas Valley Recycles.
So going back to the first one for the TMC, maybe you can ask them, what's the update on our river crossing here? Which I ask them every 6 months or so, so it's time for me to ask them again.
Okay, I will ask that question at the next TAMC meeting, I
Thank you.
promise you.
Well, this month, due to the Juneteenth holiday on June 19th, our regular meeting will be held on Thursday, June 26th. I will be unable to attend because I'll be out of town, so Scott will be attending in my absence.
Great. All righty, moving on to oral communications. Mrs. Roscoe, would you like to start? with that,
Yes,
please?
thank you. First of all, really want to congratulate all the students that are either promoting to Fairview or in the high school, and those high school students who are graduating, and to all the graduates that graduated from university, especially Magali. Magali graduated this year from Berkeley, so I was really excited for her. Plans are currently underway for our annual 4th of July celebration. So look forward to, again, seeing everybody out at Central Park for the 4th of July. And we are certainly, Rotary is certainly looking for sponsors. It's the famous barbecued ribs that we'll be doing again this year. So anybody who's looking, who would like to sponsor or contribute or donate plates, forks, napkins, containers, takeout containers, we'd greatly appreciate it. All the funds that we receive, of course, go for our scholarships. And then just right after 4th of July, we have the annual golf tournament that we do as well. So once again, scholarships, funds are for scholarships for our students. And this year, I think we gave over $12,000 in scholarships to the high school graduates. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ms. Silva.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As was mentioned earlier, the mayor and I attended the South County Youth Summit in Greenfield on Saturday, May 24th. It was very interesting to attend. This is all run by the youth councils of Gonzales, Soledad, and Greenfield. They did an awesome job. We attended a couple of the breakout sessions. We learned something, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
We learned that it's a good thing that we're at this stage of our life right now. But you know, I think it's been mentioned before that our future really is in good hands. These students are amazing. They planned it all. They did a very good job, and the subject matter that they chose to focus on, I think, was relevant. And we had an opportunity to actually engage with a student from another school. I won't say which school, but not from our city. And she felt confident enough to talk to the mayor and myself. it was it was something very personal to her, and she became very emotional. And I reached out to Jessica to follow up with that student. And I just hope that she'll be doing okay. I went to the park today, and for those of you who have gone by the park anytime in the last 24 hours, I'm sure you've all seen the row of porta potties along Fifth Street. And that was in preparation for today's AIDS life cycle that came through town, starting in the, I guess, mid-morning through the afternoon. This is the last one. They are losing a lot of their support, their financial support. I was able to engage with some of my friends who are from the Sacramento area. I was interviewed. They are spending the night in King City at San Lorenzo Park tonight. Each rider, which I think there's over 2,000 riders today, they each have to raise a minimum of $3,500. And some of the roadies, they're called roadies, they're all in orange shirts today. The roadies, some of them raise upwards of $30,000, $40,000 on their own. They didn't need to, but they did because they're so committed to this. And so it's sad to see that this is going away. I hope that at some time in my lifetime, there is a cure for AIDS. And these people are very, very dedicated. So I'm sure you all saw the cyclists. I called the school early. I knew they were coming through last year. School let out and they came through the park. And last year there was a lot of pirates out there, and they were dressed. Some of them would be considered inappropriate for our youth to see, but this year they toned it down, and they were very appreciative of Gonzales always welcoming them. And I was fortunate enough to be out there with them for about an hour or so today. I too want to wish all of the graduates best wishes. As you move on to the next chapter of your life, follow your dreams, be happy and be safe. And remember to come back home. I tell you that every year. I want to see some of you coming back home, and I hope there'll be houses for you. And finally, the swimming pool is going to be opening next week. Yay, I'm excited. So as far as I know, next Tuesday, June 10th is going to be the first day of adult swim. So I look forward to all the details for that coming up. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Worthy.
I know I just got 2 new bathing suits. Because I'm ready.
I got one.
I'm ready. I just have a couple of thank yous. I'd like to thank Corporal Castillo for taking care of the honor guard this year out at the park. And we got to see the drone that was posted on Facebook. Very nice. I had quite a few people reach out to me saying how cool that was, that they were able to see it from the sky. Also to let everyone know that Saturday is actually, June 14th is actually Flag Day. And normally what we do is we fold the flags and show how we're supposed to respectfully burn them and all of that. But we are doing it this year on the 15th because of all the graduations that happen. We have parties at the American Legion on the 14th, so we are moving it to the 15th. So anyone that would like to come, it will be at 5 o'clock at the American Legion Hall on the 15th. I'd also like to thank Tiffany. She gave Liz and I a tour last week of the wastewater treatment plant. I know it doesn't sound very sexy, but it's something that after seeing it, I've never been out there. So for me to be able to kind of see how everything works, it definitely, it was enlightening to see how all this stuff works. And I wish everybody in town could go through it because I think it's really important. Everybody thinks all these magical things happen that we don't have to pay for anything. The city just magically makes things happen. It doesn't work that way. We need everyone to understand how important wastewater is. So I just want to thank Tiffany for taking us out there. And I too congratulate all the graduates. Be safe and just enjoy yourselves because this is your time to shine. So thank you.
Thank you. I actually have a question for you, Michael. I've suggested, and I don't really think I've gotten a clear answer. How do we set term limits for council, for mayor, for planning commission? I think it's imperative that we start beginning to do that because with the youth we got coming up, I mean, I really would like to see a more continuous change in the personnel up here as a whole, because I think we need to hear from the youth, and if they're always too afraid to run because the incumbent has been there forever, then, I'm not sure that's gonna happen. I'm assuming that we have to either petition it to get it on the election so that people can determine whether they want to elect a mayor for X number of years and give them a term, or planning commissioners for X number of years. I mean, clue me in. Of course.
I can prepare something to bring back to for a presentation to the council so we can see if there's really a desire to do that on the part of the entire council, and then we can talk about what that process would be.
I would appreciate that.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. I'm with you all. Great to see these graduates, and I'm very proud of them, and I'm so happy that they are graduating this year, and before they know it, they'll be knocking on 50 years, and it just, I don't know, maybe you guys feel differently, but man, I just like, I'm pitching myself. I can't be that old. I can't be that old. Yes, I am. Luckily for me, I'm kind of losing my sight, so I really can't see the additional wrinkles or lack of hair. So I always look at the good side, that's my good side. And, but it goes far too quickly, and I'm glad to hear all the acceptance. I mean, I'm just blown away. Berkeley, Long Beach, Fresno, San Jose. It's like, wow. I'm happy to hear that, these kids are looking beyond just their high school and looking forward to. And I like you all, can't wait to see them come back. But if we don't have housing, that's gonna be kind of hard to do. Tavin, Carmen, myself, and Liz met to brainstorm some ideas, and we're hoping that in the very near future, that we can present to the rest of you those ideas of hopefully moving some housing along. So that's all I'll say at this time, and that's really all the comments that I have. Then I'll go ahead and move it over to our city manager report.
All I really have is, again, to congratulate all the graduates, and to also reemphasize that it's 10 years for the GYC. So that's pretty amazing. 10 years that the council has been supporting their leadership development. And I always love to see Cindy help or continue to advise the new councils, because that's really what it's about, for me at least. It's really prepping folks to go through the programs and then come back themselves, and then they lead it, right? I mean, that's really where the investment lies, I think. And I should let you know that we really turned that up with the Pebble Beach Foundation, and they did award us, $5,000. I was asking for a lot more, but hey, they gave a lot of other organizations money too. But again, that's what it's about, is really developing our future and then having them come back and helping us kind of continue to pass that torch. So, and then the only other thing I have is preparations for July 4th. As Councilwoman Orozco said, tickets for barbecue are available. Let us know if you need some. And then I think, Chief, you have something to share about upcoming event? By mine.
We get a discount for being resident?
Yeah, come see me. The only thing I have is a reminder of the SPCA low-cost clinic is gonna happen this Saturday, June 7th. I think it's Saturday. Yeah. At the police department, 9:30 to 1 o'clock. Vaccines for cats and dogs, 8 weeks or and older. Microchips, flea treatment, deworming, et cetera, is available for $25. So no appointment needed. Just show up, stand in line, and get that done. And the second thing is the 2025 Law Enforcement Torch Run. Our very own officer, Miguel Perez, will be leading this year through Gonzales. It'll be held on Wednesday, June 23rd, 25th. It'll begin at the police department about 9 o'clock, 9:30, and it will end at the new stadium at the high school. So he is accepting donations through a QR code. This thing is listed on our Facebook page at the police department. If you're interested in donating, you could go to that page and go through that process. And there's also a sign up sheet to participate actually in the run, walk, if you want to participate. So that'd be Wednesday, June 25th at the police department. That's all I have.
Only for the special event. So, like, great hop.
Chief Musio also had something.
Yeah, just real quick, just a reminder, tomorrow morning, burning the slough, start about 8:30, should be done by 10:30 or so. And then Wednesday morning as well, finishing up down there. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, today our new firefighter, Greg Klassen, started. Today was his first day. Then he spent 2 hours in the car with me dodging cyclists in the rural district on a Monday, so he may not be back tomorrow. But if he is, I'll bring him by for everyone to meet him. That's it. Thanks.
And
An update as well.
So two things, starting with, in order to pave Fifth Street in front of the community center site, we'll be phasing that work, and we're beginning it on Monday, and it's actually gonna take 2 weeks. And it's, we're gonna have a detour that's gonna be in place for 2 weeks for eastbound traffic on Fifth Street that they have to go. Basically, the detour is Elko to Fairview to Rincon and then back on to Fifth Street. And that's gonna be in place 24/7 for 2 weeks. Among the reasons is there's the one crew that does the excavation, placing the base rock, compacting it, and then there's a different crew that actually comes in and does the paving. And the paving crew has been scheduled for basically the next 2 months. And so they're set on paving it. We did push this that it would begin after school ends. So it's starting the Monday, a week from now, and pushing for long days so they make sure they get it done. But it's definitely going to be an inconvenience to motorists going eastbound towards the 101 freeway. Westbound traffic there'll be a lane open at all times for westbound traffic headed this direction from the freeway. We've coordinated this with MST. They'll bag the bus stops that they have basically at the high school and then also near the Head Start driveway. We're coordinating with the school district. We'll be pushing something out on the Parent Square. We'll be pushing this out on social media, and I think that's what I have to share.
Boy, wouldn't it be great if we had a phone system where we could call everybody in town and let them know what's going
on? Did you get my email reply?
No, I did not see.
I
Well, I saw your reply, your one reply. You replied, and then I replied. I don't know that there was a subsequent.
Well, I
list.
just want to make sure that our residents
Yes.
on the streets that are going to incur the additional traffic, if all of those residents are advised so that we don't,
Yeah.
or City Hall doesn't get all the complaints
Correct.
that, hey, why do I have all this increased traffic?
Yes, that was, we're definitely doing that, and that's the homes along Fairview and Rincon.
yeah, and
They'll be hand delivered by.
Perfect.
By No, this is what Public Works intern Jorge does.
Okay. I'd be available to.
that's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. But keep in mind that the old Rincon that goes from Rincon to Fairview is a pretty beat up
Yes.
street.
Sure.
Yes.
So, okay.
Now, I remember Carlos Lopez telling me that was built as a cul-de-sac and was never intended to go
Right.
through.
Right.
And
It
so
was.
so it was built to a lower construction standard. I do have another announcement. This is in the good news category. And I'll end with the good news, which is, as the council's aware, we've been seeking a $6 million amendment to our state revolving fund loan for our industrial wastewater treatment facility. And we, over the last 2 months, regrinded back as to the financial review. And on Friday, we got word that we've passed and we're now being thrown into contracts, which means this is going to happen. And talking with the State Water Resource Control Board staff person, Sunny, and they've been very responsive. It's been great working with them. is that we're at your last council meeting, May 19th, presented an award of contract. Central Pacific Construction, I believe it's not quite sticking in my head yet, but I would, going to come before you at your next meeting to recommend issuance of a notice to proceed, which basically begins the sort of like the administrative efforts. They make submittals. They're reviewed by our design consultant. There's a lot of time on that before actual real construction happens. This could save us, basically this could speed up construction completion by the order of 3 months if we do this at your June 16th council meeting.
Great. Awesome.
That was really good news.
Great.
And then finally, just I do want to see if Chief Musio has any updates because the question came up regarding the notification system. And I do want to let you know that we had to take classes and tests, and both chiefs and myself had to go through some classes and tests to even get certified in the notification system. So just to provide an update.
Yeah, so, yeah, Carmen's correct. We had to take some FEMA mandated training to be able to create alerts and use that system. We're working our way through that process right now with a vendor. I submitted all our training credentials to FEMA. It was supposed to be a 7-day turnaround. I haven't heard anything. It's been a couple weeks now. So I'll reach out tomorrow and see what our status is, but we're working our way through it.
Great.
So, yep.
All right, if there's nothing else for the good of the order, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. I was waiting to see if someone says no.